My fiance and I.
Wait, surprise! Tony winner Ali Stroker has some news. Talking dad life with Shum Jr. And we've got the stories that define the week on People in 10. I'm Andrea Boehlke with everything you need to know about pop culture right now. We've got 10 minutes, so let's dive right in with the first 5. Starting with Elliot Page, who came out this week as transgender, known for his Oscar-nominated role in Juno.
Because you're like the coolest person I've ever met.
The actor, formerly known as Ellen, released an emotional statement on Twitter, writing in part, "My pronouns are he, they, and my name is Elliot." He says his joy is real, but also fragile.
Elliot feels really happy to be at this place, but he's also scared, you know? He said, "I expect there to be hatred and jokes and attacks."
But Elliot promises to do everything he can to change the world for the trans community.
To have such a public figure come out and join their community is really gonna uplift them.
And many celebs are sending their love. Anna Kendrick calls his journey a reminder that we can be brave and joyful even when things are scary. While Patricia Arquette tweeted her support, and Olivia Munn wrote simply, "I love you, Elliot." Now, onto the Instagrams you've been loving this week. Priyanka Chopra is celebrating 2 years married to Nick Jonas, calling him the love of her life with a cozy photo of them walking hand in hand. Robert Irwin's got a milestone to celebrate too. He's 17. He marked the birthday with an emotional video featuring his late dad, Steve Irwin.
At that very moment, I saw the light.
The video is full of sweet throwbacks of the father-son duo. Such precious memories. And Keke Palmer is getting real about her acne with these bare-faced selfies. She revealed that she has polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, and tells fans struggling with the same issues, you are not alone. Kelly Clarkson also got candid about divorce this week on her talk show.
It's horrible. There are so many hard parts. The hardest for me is the kids.
Kelly filed for divorce from Brandon Blackstock in June after 7 years of marriage. On Monday, we learned she was awarded primary custody of their 6-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son. But now her ex is asking for compensation.
A source tells us that Brandon has made a few unreasonable requests in their divorce proceedings, including asking for $301,000 in spousal support and $135,000 in child support per month. If his request remains, he'd be getting $5.2 million per year from Kelly.
Meanwhile, Kelly is staying focused on what matters most.
A source tells us that Kelly's kids are her priority and the most important thing to her is protecting them.
All right, now it's time for our 2020 People of the Year. George Clooney, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Regina King, and Selena Gomez. We love George for his human and civil rights work and his sense of humor.
I'm like, what'd you say? What'd you call me?
And we're celebrating Dr. Fauci for giving us hope amid the pandemic.
We're gonna get through this. This is gonna end.
Regina King gets a nod for always speaking her truth.
You don't have to be this big star to know that you have a voice.
And Selena Gomez for sharing her struggles to help the next generation.
I think everything that I do has a personal touch to it, but that's what makes it all worth it.
Now let's take 60 seconds to smile with a heartwarming story about family. Katie Holstein has fostered over 16 children since 2017. She always assumed she would only take in younger kids, but this year things changed, all thanks to 17-year-old Akira. Soon after taking in her foster son Thomas, state officials asked Katie if she would be willing to take in Akira too. At first, she was hesitant to foster an older child, but she found herself impressed with Akira, and the rest is history. Their initial plan was for her to stay with Katie until she aged out of the system, but she quickly became part of the family, and the pair started thinking about adoption. And this fall, after 11 years in foster care, Akira was finally adopted. In fact, Katie made it official by adopting both Akira and Thomas. Akira tells People that her new life is almost too good to be true, explaining that she's always felt she had to meet the expectations of her foster parents, but with Katie, she can just be herself. I just love those photos. You can tell that they're so happy together. All right, now moving on to a special double feature of screen time. I'm so excited to be joined by two talented actors today, starting with Ali Stroker, who's in the new Lifetime movie Christmas Ever After, just in time for the holidays.
This trip will be completely about me and Desmond.
The character from my books.
Do you think this is like a sign from the universe?
Let's dive right into our 1 through 5 series of questions. Basically, I'll ask you a question and you'll have to give me a certain amount of answers, 1 through 5. It's very easy. Let's get to it. What is one skill that you've learned or honed in 2020?
I'm really into the New York Times cooking app, and my fiance and I...
Wait, when? Okay, I think I missed this. When did you two get engaged?
I haven't announced it.
Oh, okay. Is this an announcement?
It was such a surprise. I had no idea, and we went up to Beacon, New York, which is just like a little bit upstate. And when he asked me, I didn't think that he was proposing. I thought he was like having a conversation with me about like, you know, like I want to marry you. And then I looked down and he had a ring and I was like, what?
New news, you heard it here on People in 10. You saw on your Instagram that you were so happy that Joe Biden won. So what are 2 things that you hope for from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
I hope that our country doesn't feel as divided. And then the second thing is I hope that we see many more women in power.
But while I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last.
You were the first wheelchair user to be nominated for and win a Tony for your role in Oklahoma.
I'm just a girl who can't say no.
So what are your top 3 pieces of advice for people out there who want to have a similar career path?
You are going to have to work harder than you ever thought you could. I had to give up so much to arrive at where I did. Be kind. It's so important to make a positive impression. Number 3, I would say, do not give up.
In your movie Christmas Ever After, you play a popular romance novelist. So I want to know, what are the top 4 things that you need in romance and love?
Ooh, good question. I haven't been asked anything like that in a long time. Okay, trust. I think it's so important to trust when you are falling in love with somebody. Humor and fun, to have things in common. You acknowledge and appreciate the small things.
And finally, what are 5 words to describe your new movie, Christmas Ever After?
Oh, fun. Okay, 5 words. Number 1, festive. Romance. Nerves and suspense. Christmas. Coincidence.
Amazing. Allie, you're the best. This was so fun, so thank you. And everyone, make sure you watch Allie in her movie, Christmas Ever After. It premieres on Lifetime, December 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, we're not done yet. Shum Jr. first danced his way into our hearts on Fox's Glee, and now he is making a swoon in the new romantic drama called All My Life. And spoiler alert, it's quite the tearjerker.
Hey, if we get bad news, we should get a dog.
Don't say that. We're getting good news.
He's ours.
So let's jump right into our 1 through 5 series of questions. Do you have one thing in your house nearby that's very significant to you that you can grab and show us?
This is always around. This is my daughter's Moana doll.
Aww.
And I mean, I think this is what's gonna stop her from crying. So it's, at this point right now, it's very significant to me.
Fans first fell in love with you on Glee. When you think back to making that show, what are the top 2 memories that really stand out and make you smile?
When we did the Queen song, Somebody to Love. First time I feel like we got to feel like a real group, and everyone was on the same page, and we knew that we were doing something special, but at that moment I felt like that bond was really close, and we knew that this was really something that will last a lifetime, I think, for a lot of audiences. This song, Homeward Bound, that we did, it was a mashup. You can tell if you look back how significant it was, just coming back to McKinley High and all the memories that we had before. So those are the 2 moments that were my favorite.
You have this great chemistry with Jessica Roth.
Okay, I give you some wit.
Yeah, whip me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Bring it.
Okay, all right.
She must have been so much fun to work with. When you think back on working with her, what are the 3 things that really stand out to you?
She's just so down to earth. You know, she came from Happy Death Day, and then she's done a ton of things, La La Land, but to see her in this role, I think was like, oh, is she gonna bring that horror? You know, energy onto it, but she completely transformed. Really inspiring to see like an actress that has so much range to work with her. She is just game for anything, like in the sense that she doesn't have to look glamorous all the time. She just is in for whatever needs to be done to move the scene.
Since your movie is all about love and you're married in real life, I want to know, in your real life, what are your 4 favorite activities to do with your wife, Shelby?
Cooking is definitely one of them. Driving around and feeling like you're going somewhere. And we're simple people, so the third one is I have these wonderful lights that kind of are like disco lights. So, and I have these like portable mics that I brought when we were traveling, and we have these karaoke parties, just the both of us. And that's really fun. One thing that I've really enjoyed is honestly just waking up to each other and knowing that we got enough sleep, especially having a daughter, is a joy that I didn't know that I would think about and even name off in a list like this.
If you had to describe your movie, All My Life, in 5 words, what would they be?
Inspiring, joyful, tragic, hopeful, love.
Well, Harry, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, make sure to watch Harry's new movie, All My Life. It's in theaters starting tomorrow. All right, time's up. See you next Thursday.